Well, here's today's event for the second time. I had been recording this whole process. My nephew was holding the camera, and we was almost done with this part of it, and he said the camera just stopped. Are you kidding me? So here I am again. That's why it's all. But what we are is this was a gold mine find on my way back from Louisiana the other day. I've been working down there, and I seen this microwave on the side of the road, so I did a U-turn, drove back and picked it up. And the reason being is inside every microwave is two magnets. That's a magnet. And I got one there, I got one over there, and there's a couple over there. I got spring, and I've got them all around my truck when I'm taking things apart or whatever. I just throw it over there and it'll stick to it, and they're very powerful. In fact, if my dad sees one on the side of the highway, he picks it up so I can take it apart so he can get around magnet. And if he finds it, he gets a magnet, and I get a magnet. But what you'll need, and I've probably I chunked them right in the garbage. Oh, no, I didn't. What you'll need is a number 1 or a number 2 Phillips head. This particular microwave takes a number 1 Phillips, and you'll also need a T20 star-headed bit, but it has to be a safety bit. This is not. I have one that's a number 2, so it was too big for the screws on here, because normally, see, I boogered it up trying to get it out, but I've got a whole pack of star-headed safety bits that it's a star head, but it has the hole in the center, because on your electrical appliances. See, somebody had somebody had took it apart, and they didn't have a star-headed safety bit, and you can see that they took something and knocked that safety piece out of, so they could get a star head in there or get some kind of a drill bit. So it was a T25, but it didn't have to be safety. So, and I didn't know right where my safety bits were. But every microwave is a different size. This one is a T20. I have took some apart that used T15s, and I took one apart one time that had a T10 safety star-headed bit, and then there's the bigger ones take the T25. But anyway, Phillips head, number 1 or number 2, and just some star-headed safety bits, and it varies on the size. Now this particular one was easy to get to. This was in there just like that. Had 4 screws holding it. Right there, just number 1. And then I pulled that out. That's a pair of dikes. And these are machined together. And you can see where I've pried. You get it started, and you just pry them levers back. Well, I wish that first video hadn't messed up, because it showed me doing that. But once you get a good bite on it, you just twist it, just like you would a sardine can, and it'll pop out. And that was attached to these, and when I pulled it apart, it peeled that out, and then I just snipped where it was connected there. And it's kind of hard doing this silliness with one hand. The nephew, he had to go inside and tend to something. That's, buddy, See how that is a strong magnet right there. Good night. There it is right there. And see, that's a pretty good size one. I guess this, you would consider this a medium microwave. That's the one. And then this, let's see. See, that one's just a tad bit smaller, and it come out of a small microwave. The bigger the microwave, the bigger the magnet. But that's the first one. Wow, I sure need both hands on that little piece right there. And another reason you use these is it'll have these little aluminum strips, and they will be sharp, but you just grab them and just hold it and twist it, and it'll pop out. You get all that garbage out of the way. Of course, it's easy when you got two hands. You just kind of give it a twist. Anyway, what the process for this is, I'll pull all of these sleeves off, and then I'll slide the magnet off. That little thing right there, you can, that'll be holding it. And you can, these will break if you let two of them clack together. My nephew broke one, but buddy, they whap with force. But anyway, that's a Gold Mine Fine magnet stash right there. Also did a video yesterday on my River's Edge deer cart. Well, let's walk over here, and I'll show you what the end product looks like. And I got it bicycle chained to the garboat deck, but this thing was a cakewalk. Was a cakewalk to put together, and most of it was put together. This was bent over, and then the arm, you know, it was all compacted and slid in the box. So you pull it out, and you slide you got both wheels, and you just slide the axle through, put the clip, it'll be sticking out. You got two little washers. You put one there and one on the inside, and put that pin. Then you've got this bar, and they got the little wing nuts. You just stick that through there, tighten it up. You got one there and one there, one there and one there, and the handle hinges. You know, you can see the slack there. So it folds up nice and neat, and you can hang it on the wall, and then you just put these pins through there, and that'll hold your handle up. And then you just put that pin there, put your washer on the outside, and that. So the directions on it showed putting this part and this part, but I ordered off Amazon for $99. I had free 2-day shipping, and everything was put together, except you had to put the tires and the axle. And then this right here and this piece right here is you put your strap. You can run a strap there, and then you can run it through, and you can criss and cross and put it under there, and then wrap it around, and then cinch it up right there. That's a place to put your straps. But that's the River's Edge. It took about 3 minutes to get all your little screws and nuts lined out, and then just put it together, and then, I mean, it's real simple. But for $99, that sucker will be platinum. When you're having to drag a deer a half a mile to a mile out of the woods. It took me killed that big 9-point last year, and it took me 1 hour and 15 minutes to drag it from where I shot him to the truck. And I had to drag him up a 18-foot creek embankment, which was a chore in and of itself. But if you're into scrapping, normally, you know, I've been working in Louisiana. I'm just in for a few days. And but if I have a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna take to the scrap yard, insulated wire, 36 cents a pound. I'll have me 3 or 4 buckets. I'll take all the insulated wire, throw it in a bucket. That's aluminum. I'll throw it in a bucket of, you know, just aluminum. That's bare copper wire, so I'll have me a bucket. So anything like that right there, that'll be number 1 copper wire. I'll snip that off and I'll throw that uninsulated wire in a bucket. Everything, if it's separated, pays more. So you got a bunch of copper wire showing. This thing right here is heavy. And underneath this paper right there, that's a whole bunch of uninsulated. Now that's a chore to get to that. You'd have to have like a real high-powered grinder to grind this steel off, and it's just little slits of steel compressed together somehow. But anyway, that's a big wad of uninsulated wire, copper wire right there. And then I'll have the trash can right there, and I just throw all the junk. But I'm not scrapping. But normally if I have 3 or 4 of these to take apart, I live a mile from a scrap yard. And then, man, out in the woods, I find all kinds of metal where people just go out in the woods and dump it out. Well, if I got a truckload of stuff I pick up out in the woods that some jerks dumped as garbage out there, I'll separate it and put aluminum, insulated wire, copper wire. I'll separate everything out into its own category like that. That'll be your 10 excuse me, 10 price. But I ain't doing all that. It's going directly in the garbage can. But anyway, that's today's event. And then I'll have some trail cam videos here in the next few days. And then I got my Proof Cam Generation 1s. I showed them when I unboxed one yesterday. Oh, let me tell you about the Aras. Amazon, they emailed me a return code. I stopped by the UPS store. I just put it back in the same box, printed the little return label, put it on. They give me a receipt. It's on. I've done got the money back for the Aras that were broke. Naturally, they're not in stock. I couldn't get a return, so they had to give me my cash back, and then I had to go find another set of Aras the same way and reorder them, and guess what? It was a $20 bill more for the same exact thing. Can you believe that? Anyway, I'll have a couple more videos here in the next few days. Until then, till the next event.